Call the meeting to order. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Brewer. Here. Trustee Grant.
Here.
Trustee Carter.
Here.
Trustee Todd. Here. Trustee Zupan. Here. Trustee Tate.
Okay. I'll accept the motion to go into recess to go into executive session.
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Grant, second by Trustee Tate. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Brewer. Here. Yes. Trustee Carter.
Yes.
Trustee Grant.
Yes.
Trustee Tate. Trustee Todd. Yes. Trustee Zupan. Yes.
Motion is carried. Okay, I'll accept the motion to reconvene. Moved by Trustee Zupan, second by Trustee Tate. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Brewer. Here. Trustee Carter.
Here.
Trustee Grant.
Here.
Trustee Tate. Trustee Todd. Here. Trustee Zupan. Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 4, approval of minutes. I'll accept the motion to approve the minutes for the proceedings of the committee meeting dated November 7th, 2017.
So
Second.
It was moved by, moved by Trustee Todd, second by Trustee Grant, was it? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Brewer. Didn't ask for questions or comments.
I'm sorry. Question.
I just want to make a comment. Back in November of 2017, we indicated that we're going to have some security features in plexiglass where I just want to put a note on it and find out who we should talk to about getting the security features in plexiglass. Okay?
That is, if you don't mind, Your Honor,
Sure.
that would fall under unfinished business, not the business of accepting the minutes.
Well, I'm aware of that. I just want to make a note of that.
Any other questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Brewer.
Yes.
Trustee Carter.
Yes.
Trustee Grant.
Yes.
Trustee Tate. Trustee Todd. Yes. Trustee Zupan. Yes.
Motion is carried. I'll accept the motion to approve the minutes for the board meeting dated January the 9th, 2018.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Trustee Zupan, second by Trustee Todd. Are there any questions? Madam Clerk?
Trustee Carter.
Yes.
Trustee Grant.
Yes.
Trustee Tate. Yes. Trustee Todd. Yes. Trustee Zupan. Yes. Trustee Brewer.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 5, public comment. All questions and comments must be directed to the mayor. Each speaker may comment on matters pertaining to the business of Sauk Village. Each speaker is allowed one opportunity to speak for up to 3 minutes and may not engage in debate, counter replies, or rebuttals, and may not be personal in nature. Please state your name.
My name is Jackie Glaze. I just have to make a comment. Last Wednesday I got up, I had no water. Several of us didn't. They were fixing a pipe on Strasburg. This was a planned fix. They had Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to notify all of us. It has been done in the past, it should be done in the future. They had plenty of time, and it was very inconvenient for a lot of people. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Bernadine Hopkins. One of the things I wanted to state was that I wanted to give accolades to Linda Washington for the book bag giveaway. I hope this isn't out of order, but she made sure somehow that each one of those children left out of there with the book bag, with the book supplies, and I just think that was fantastic, and the parents and the children were both very happy about that. And, well, again, I want to publicly say thank you to her and just simply express my appreciation. Now, I want to ask you some questions about the accounts payable, if I may. I have great concerns about the amounts that are being paid Dr. Strada. I don't understand it. On August 2nd, she was paid over $1,400, and that in addition, she was paid $850 along with that. That was just for one day. I cannot understand that. So if you could give me some clarity. When I added everything up, what it amounts to is like she's receiving a payment of over $6,000 in 2 weeks. I need some just understanding how a person can make that kind of money, and also how we can afford to pay it. I have a question about this is on page 2. It says classified listings, treasurer's report, and it lists over $800 being paid for that. I'd like to know what that is. Okay. Oh, and on page 3, I noticed that $116 was paid for bottled water, and I'm not trying to be funny or anything, but if our water is safe to drink, I'm just kind of curious why $116 is being paid for bottled water. So, and that's that.
The pay for Dr. Strada, she does 2 different things, so that's why you saw she submits the invoices every week, and she does do negotiations and also human resources. So that's why I don't know where you get the $5,000 or $4,000 in 2 weeks from.
When I add it together.
Anyway, I don't know where that comes from, but there's 2 different things that 2 different services that she performs, so that's what that is. On page 2, in regards to the listing, that's something that we have to inform it goes to the paper for the treasurer's report. Every now and then goes out to the paper, so that's what they charge to disseminate that information. And bottled water, that's the police department, and I don't know if it's for the prisoners, but they do have bottled water services over there. Those are the answers to your question.
It sure is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pat Couch. One of the questions I have is regarding what she was just speaking on. I understand they're in mediation, And if they're in mediation, you're paying two people, correct? You have a lawyer that has to be there for mediation during these discussions. So I would like to know more about the mediation and how many people we're paying to do that. Also, it's been brought up numerous times on the treasurer that she has not been bonded. You mentioned an insurance policy that is not the same as being bonded. And I think if you'll check the laws in the state, there is a definite difference between bonding and insurance. So I'd like to know why she's not bonded as of yet. Months have gone by. It's due time.
Okay, as was stated before, they don't call it bonding, but we have $1 million policy that covers the village for anyone that deals directly with our receipts assets. That's, you're saying that it's not that? I don't know how more I can tell you that it is the same as being bonded. So if it's an insurance policy, I don't know where you're getting that it's not the same thing, but if something happens, we're insured for up to $1 million per occurrence. With the, as far as Dr. Straughter is concerned, we are in mediation, but we have more than one entity that we're dealing with. We have another contract that is also being open, it's opened, and it also has to be taken care of, and that's for USW. So those things, those are the two things that are going on right now. And when the mediation gets to the point where we need the lawyers, quite naturally, we will be using the lawyers for that reason when it gets to that point. But to have them to go back and forth each and every day would be a whole lot more than what we're paying Dr. Straughter $85 an hour to do that. Any other questions?
Yes, my name is James Schultz. I live on 215th and Cynthia. I would like to know when the tree limbs are going to be picked up that fell down a month ago from a storm. They've been laying out there for over a month. You know, I'd like to find out when they're going to get picked up. In my lifetime or not?
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. The Public Works Director stated to me the other day that they were out doing the pickup from the storm. Right now they were deterred because there was a water main break behind the fire station. And also they're doing the work that we had a small break on 23rd Street. But the tree limbs will be picked up. As a matter of fact, I'll talk to him tomorrow. He left early today, he was not feeling well. But I'll make sure to find out the status in front of, right there, because I know where you live at, and find out exactly when those limbs can be picked up. Because he did mention that there was the storm, and you're right, it's been a while. But they were called away because we had 2 water main breaks and then also ran into some trouble on 20 and 23rd Street. Okay.
Hi, I'm Kathy Newton, and on July 30th, I received an email.
I'm sorry, man, what did you say your last name?
Newton. I received an email to a private personal email to support a fundraiser that was not supported through the town, and I would like to know how Trustee Brewer got my personal email address. I have exactly 5 places that email address is addressed to, one of which is the Village of Sauk Village. The rest are professionals. So I'd like somebody to find out how she managed to obtain my personal private email to send me an email inviting me to a fundraiser on her private email.
Can I answer that?
Sure.
Oh, I have no idea. I have no idea.
I kind of figured you'd say that.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, item number 6. Report of the officers. Mayor's report. I just wanted to let everyone know, and I did mention it, that we did close on the, as aforementioned, the truck stop land. It was 32 acres that was closed. We're in the process now of trying to, well, they're going to come back and give us the final plans of what they're going to do with it. Right now, they're speculating some different things, and I don't mention it until I see it. So that's why I haven't said much about it until it actually happens, because things can change, as anyone knows. But they're planning on putting a pretty big footprint over there on the other side, on west of 394 and north of Sauk Trail. So as that unfolds, I will give updates to the village about that, and I'm sure in the report today there's some other businesses that are opening in the village, and I'm sure that I'm sure that the Economic Development Director will be pointing those different things out today. Thank you. The next item, Village Clerk, Madam.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Very short report. In front of you is a packet of materials that was distributed at the informational forum for potential candidates this past Saturday. A couple of trustees asked for it, so because a couple asked, I thought that I would just still share the entire content so that anyone else that would want it would have it to their availability. One thing, though, that I would like to draw your attention to is on the right side, the very first sheet, is a summary of the evaluations. Whenever I conduct any type of professional development training or sessions, I do believe in assessing if we met the goal, if we met the target, if people satisfied or whatever. And the results that you see there is that people were basically extremely satisfied with that date. We had about 12 people that attended, and the results were very, very favorable. And then I saw a number of people after that, and they verbally commented rather on the success and how much that they had gained from being in attendance. So please feel free to share that information with others that you may know, and know that that same material, if needed, I can make copies for residents as well in the capacity of being the election officer for the village of Sauk Village. Another thing that I would like to bring to your attention, trustees, if you notice that as we were in the executive conference room, you saw a computer and a printer sitting there. We asked that that computer and printer be put back there so that if you ever have a need to use a computer while you are in the building, that area is set aside for you to use it day to day. Not to take up and use it as an office, but you may use the computer and the printer at your leisure. Another thing that I think that it's really worth us focusing on, Mayor and trustees, is how did we fare with people getting their licenses for their animal tags as well as for their cars. I know that as I'm out walking, just in my neighborhood, I see an awful lot of cars without village stickers on it, and I hear an awful lot of dogs barking, and I know that we have not even sold 50 dog tags, and I know that we have much more. So I'm just appealing to us to be a little bit more focused when it comes to collecting those funds. And sir, that completes my report.
Thank you. Village Engineer, Mr. Jim Zarnick.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a brief report. Iroquois Paving started work on the 223rd Street and Cornell Avenue project several weeks ago. Their subcontractor, J.J. Newell, started concrete construction, which includes curb and sidewalks. And I will be sure to keep you updated as the job progresses. And that concludes my report. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
I have a question. Well, a comment really. Sort of, let me do this. Recently, we just had a water main break from 221st Paxson over to Earl and those sort of streets. What I want to do is re-emphasize the point that we need to look at how we're doing with repaving the roads when we repave the roads. Now, I understand there was a road that needed to be repaved on 221st, and we have that money coming in, the block grant. But my position is to you is that why are we still trying to repave a road when there's an underlying problem there? And we know it's a problem there because of the 221st Street project. You know, there's a lot of thousands of gallons of water was lost. But my thing is that we need to reevaluate how we're looking at these different areas, you know, before we repave the particular project. Because 221st, even though I know it wasn't, you know, it burst before we repave it, but I'm just saying it might come to a point where we might want to look at it again before we have to repave a project. You understand what I mean? So we need to maybe reevaluate before we do it again. You know, and not only the 221st, we talking 223rd too, because those pipes are going to bust sooner or later too, down that way.
I think it's a good idea. Public Works did a very good job this time around with 223rd, making sure that all that got replaced before we start the paving work. So if we could do the same thing moving forward with our road reconstruction projects, that would be a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I want to say they did a great, fantastic job. Yeah.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know, please, Chief, do you have it?
Yeah, we got a bit of an issue.
Okay, well then, go ahead, go all the way down. Or go all the way down to,
Mary, you got a minute? We did.
sure. Okay, Finance Department,
He didn't take his rate.
Finance Department, Mohan.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor. I know the treasurer is not here, but can we make some comments on his,
How can you make comments on a report that's not given?
I have a question. That's why I'm asking.
Because if she's not here, how can she ask the question?
Well, okay, I can make the comment when I make my comment. When it's time for my comment, what's fun?
I'm just saying, you can't answer your question if you're not here.
I have a comment, I said.
Okay. Oh, you do. Go ahead, Mohan.
Thank you, Mayor and the board. The Finance Department completed the DCEO financial report for June. It was done on July 30th, 2018. There were no expenses reported and/or no expenses incurred. MFT compliance report for the years starting from 2014 to 2016 has been completed and reported to Department of Transportation on August 10, 2018. We reported the COPS grant as of 6/30/2018 in the amount of $11,021.13. The cash was received on July 6, 2018. We have collected in the month of July from Illinois Comptroller's Office towards J&P tickets in the amount of $6,659.30. The real estate taxes revenue for the month of July is $510,744.70. I think I left out on the cash report that general fund special account has a balance of $1,343,873.92 intact, and we have not spent any money out of that account. That ends my report. Thank you, Mayor and the board.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I would like a copy of Dr. Estrada's invoices in the amount of $4,449.75. I'd like a copy of all three of those invoices, and also a copy of all three of the HR union negotiation in the amount of $2,550 for Dr. Estrada. For Dr. Estrada. In addition to that, since we bypassed the...
I was going to go back and read the report that was given. I'm going to go back and read the report that was given by the treasurer.
Okay, so can I get those copies?
Sure. I did have a report for the treasurer, and it reads as follows. Dear Mayor and trustees, attached to the collector's report for May and June 2018, highlights are as follows. June includes the proceeds from the sale of property in laundromat, $38,000 in general fund miscellaneous revenues. June includes a reimbursement of $31,000 for professional services in the motor fuel tax from IDOT. The expense was originally recorded in July 2017, February, and March of 2018. The reimbursement was recorded in June 2018, which resulted in a negative expense in the current fiscal year. June includes a negative $9,000 in water fund miscellaneous revenues. It represents a payment made through PSN that was rejected by PSN. Once the resident pays the amount of this negative balance will be adjusted. June 2018 water fees are 20% lower than June 2017. Director of Finance, the Director of Public Works, and the billing clerks investigated this decrease and determined that this was related to a year-over-year decrease in water usage. They found no other discrepancies in the billing process that would account for this large decrease in water billing. We will continue to monitor this situation. The collector's report is read. For the month of May 2018, property tax $97,766.07. Other taxes $62,003.62. License and permits $42,020.44. Fees and services $151,465.57. Grants $9,356.90. Interfund transfers, $47,444.97. Miscellaneous, $90,954.73 for a total of $501,012.30. For the month of June, property tax, $972. Other taxes, $195,682.26. License and permits, $65,992.74. Fees and services, $188,052.21. Grants, $26,974.92. Miscellaneous, $60,444.55 for a total of $538,118.72.
question. Mr. Mayor, I understand that we just went over this, that you determined that there's no need for a bond, but I still would want a copy of the attorney's legal opinions on a bond if the treasurer needs to be bonded. We have asked that for several times and we still haven't got the answer, so I really would like a copy of saying that it didn't have to be bonded.
No, the answer was that the identification that we have is considered a bond. You didn't get an answer.
I said I would like a legal opinion from the
It came
attorney
from the attorney.
in writing.
It was in writing.
And, okay, but I don't have a copy.
Oh, okay.
So I'd like a copy of that. And also, I'd like a copy of operational transfers and see if some transfers have been made since May of 2018. Any operational transfers where the money hasn't been paid back. And I'd like a copy of
Do you
both of those
understand
two
what
items.
operational transfers are?
I'd like a copy
I'm
of
just
those.
asking a
I
question.
know what it is.
Okay,
What
because
she intends
operational
to,
transfers do not have to be paid back. That comes out of the budget. That's
I
operational cost.
still like a legal opinion about operational transfers. Okay? And I like a legal opinion of the bonds. If you gave it to me, I'd like a copy of it. As simple as that. And for the, you just gave us a report and it had 13 pages to it, and we just got it back yesterday, Monday at 3:55. We didn't have a chance to really look over the documents that you provided us. So I was wondering, can we put that back on the agenda for next week to take a look at?
How can you put a collector's report back on the agenda? I don't understand what you're saying. How can you, this is a report, how can you put it back? We're not voting on this. This is a report.
I want to discuss it because if it was 13
Discuss it
pages.
with who?
Well, if I don't, 13 pages was put out there, okay? So I'd like to take a look at it.
Did you want to
13
come talk to
pages.
the treasurer about this or something? I mean,
No,
what
I
I'm
want
trying
to put
say,
it back on the
you put-
agenda because
for
I have
what
some
reason?
questions about it.
For what reason are you putting it back on the
I
agenda?
want it back on the agenda, so
For-
I
for
have
what
some
reason?
questions about it because I haven't, 13 pages was
If you have questions-
impossible for us to look at
If
within,
you have
for,
questions, trustee, you
it's
can ask the
impossible for
question.
us to look at the 13 documents that we have. What is the problem with getting the documents? And if I have a question, I
You
can
have
ask.
them right here. You have the documents right here, trustee.
Okay, and then I want to ask questions. I want to put it back on the agenda.
What, you still haven't made it clear, trustee. What do you want it back on the agenda for? What?
Because I didn't have a chance to look at the 13 documents that was
Okay.
spouted out, so.
So,
that's why.
but if you have questions, the treasurer will be here. Because I cannot answer all your questions. So if you need to come talk to them, I'm just trying to figure out why
I
we need
can,
to have it on the agenda.
Because it's a financial matter.
Okay.
And everything on finance supposed to be out in the public.
It
And I
is,
would
it
like to
is.
speak to, not speak to, but talk about the subject when it's coming up.
Madam Clerk, you said you wanted to say something. What was it about?
I sure do. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I spoke with the treasurer today, and I know that she emailed the documents to you and the trustees a couple of days ago, and then I took the liberty of making copies and putting it in your packet, and I informed her that I did so. She stated that she would not be here to go over it tonight. However, it is her intent that she will discuss in detail that very same report the next time, at our very next meeting. So it will appear on an agenda under unfinished business at our next meeting.
Thank you.
At the
Trustee.
next meeting or board meeting?
Board meeting. Well, she honestly didn't say, I'm sorry, if it was committee or board. She just said the next meeting. Okay? So I guess she will inform us, Mr. Mayor, when she will be ready to discuss those 13 pages.
Chief Kowalski, your report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and trustees.
Since the fire chief had to leave, I have his report. For the last 2-week period, the fire department responded to 34 calls, 7 fire alarms, 6 vehicle accidents, 5 ambulance assists, 2 carbon monoxide, 2 auto aids, 1 odor investigation, 1 wire down, 1 electrical fire, 2 vehicle fires, 1 smell smoke, 1 illegal burn, 1 dumpster fire, 2 gas leaks, 1 structure fire at the Reichert farmhouse, and 1 rekindle fire at the Reichert farmhouse. Honorable Mayor and trustees, thank you letters were sent to all the departments that assisted us on the farmhouse fire and rekindle. The fire is being investigated by the Cook County Police. Big thank you to all the residents who came out to National Night Out. People who visited the safety trailer were given smoke detectors if they needed one. Many were impressed by how quickly a room fire can spread and how fast our fire department extinguished it. That's the end of the fire department report. Now for the police report. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and trustees.
Okay.
For the 2-week period, we had 435 calls for service with 8 arrests. Case of interest, in May of 2018, this year, we had a homicide on Carroll Avenue. Shortly after, 1 offender was arrested and 2 fled the scene, which prompted warrants for their arrests. Last week, our police department was contacted by the Lafayette, Indiana Police Department, who advised they had the 2 offenders in custody. Arrangements are being made to pick up both offenders and bring them to court for their initial appearance. National Night Out 2018 was held on August 7th and was a great success. I'd like to thank everyone who helped make it so special. There are many people that made it such a success, such as the mayor, the Sauk Village trustees, village clerk, the fire chief, and the Sauk Village Fire Department, who, by the way, always do a fantastic job on the house burn display. I'd like to acknowledge all those businesses who came to support our event. American Family Restaurant, who prepared and sold food at the outing, and on August 9th, gave a generous monetary donation which will go toward Shop with a Cop. Prudential Insurance, Sauk Village School District 168 in Blossoms, Sauk Village McConaughey Library, Crosswords Church, Walgreens, Secret Direct, GenCare, Sauk Village Senior Advisory Council, CN Railroad Police, Culver's, Illinois Treasurer's Office, Al Baverick and Sauk Village ESDA, and our very own DJ, Steve LaRock. A special thank you to trustees Beth Zupan and Linda Todd for helping sell snacks and refreshments, along with our village clerk, Marva Campbell-Pruitt, for organizing our partner vendors. Always a special thanks to our very own Sauk Village K9 Falco and Officer Fredrickson, who put on a spectacular display. Again, an event like this is not successful without the cooperation of many individuals. The time and effort to put out for this event, for it to occur, is greatly appreciated. Thank you all again, and we look forward to another National Night Out in 2019. Lastly, our strike force statistics. I recently received the 3rd quarter statistics from the DEA strike force that Officer Brad Aguirre was assigned to, and I'd like to share those with you. To date, the strike force has made 94 arrests and recovered over 247 kilograms of cocaine, 94 kilograms of heroin, 249.9 pounds of marijuana, and 81.5 pounds of meth. Strike Force has also seized $6,848,127.25 in cash, $97,900 in value of vehicles or vessels, and seized 35 weapons which were recovered. Our participation in Strike Force has been very well received and welcomed by the Assistant Special Agent in charge of DEA, Chicago Division. I'm very proud of the work done by Officer Guayo and as well as other members of the Strike Force. They truly are trying to make our community a safer place to live. And that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Emergency management.
Mayor, sorry, if I could just interrupt for a quick minute before we move on. Chief, I didn't get a chance to give this to you last week, but the proceeds from the sale of the pop, water, and snacks was $125, so that too goes to Shop with a Cop this fall. Thank you.
Emergency Management Agency, Madam Clerk, you have a report.
Yes, sir. Director Alan Vavrick submitted a report, and he states on July 31st, 2018, Sauk Village's hazard mitigation report was filed with Cook County Department of Homeland Security. We, meaning Sauk Village, are in compliance with the Cook County Department of Homeland Security Hazard Mitigation Agency, and he wished to thank James Zernick for his assistance with compiling the information as needed.
Thank you. Economic Development. Economic Development Director Joseph Wiswell.
I'm sorry, Mayor.
Oh, you have
Skip it, Public Works.
Oh, you have the report? Okay, I didn't get one. Oh, okay. Report coming from the Public Works. One leaking B-box on 217-24 Peterson, and one dig request for an inside leak at 21655. We will shift back as soon as possible. Staff repaired a main break on 223rd in Merrill, and then were called back because it broke again. So we did a main replacement. Residents were under a bore order and had been lifted. All were notified. There are 3 other repairs that are in process on 223rd, so the road work can be completed. Small jobs are being completed at the Village Hall, Police Department and Fire Department, like plumbing, lights, and leaks, to name a few. Repairs ongoing at both well houses, including quotes to replace the roof at the main station. 2 repairs have been made at the chemical meter controls and main breaker and wiring for well number 2 completed. Grass cutting continues at the village locations, part-time help taking over so staff can work on infrastructure. Seasonal help is assisting in the completion of the landscape at the community center and police department. Due to unforeseen emergencies, we have not been able to pick up storm branches, so we are holding off until put out till September 9th for the final pickup. Just a reminder, we're coming into a rain season, so please don't throw debris in the roadway. This will end up in the storm sewers and cause flooding, damage, and is a waste of taxpayers' money due to overtime. Staff is doing its best to assist all departments set up for events and addresses. All residents' complaints are much as possible, so please be patient. We are behind on our work. The concrete work completed on 226 in Brookwood, second half of the job is asphalt apron and street repairs, slow going. Several other jobs are being prepared and quoted to move forward. Next is 217 in Mark Collins curb, sidewalk, and detectable. Replacement of the customer service truck is underway. The cost using CMS state bids is so far the cheapest. We're trying to stay under the budget amount of $25,000. Hope we can move forward. And that concludes his report. Report again from the Economic Development Director, Mr. Wiswell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As many already know, the village was awarded the Invest in Cook grant that we applied for earlier this year. The grant is for $350,000 for engineering work for roadway and rail spur expansion. Cook County has already begun phase 1 work on this project, which included rail and roadway engineering as well as geotechnical work on the village-owned property within the Logistics Center. We will be working with council on the intergovernmental agreement with Cook County and drafting that resolution. That'll be before the board for approval sometime soon. The gas and wash project was kicked off last week, They look to get things moving here soon. We had a pre-construction meeting with the general contractor, the village's building inspector, and the owner of the property last week. That meeting went very well. The board has before it tonight for consideration a resolution to support a Class 8 property tax classification for the gas and wash project. This was discussed last week. All of the questions regarding the Class 8 were answered last week as well. The project would not be possible but for the Class 8 designation, as the property taxes on the development in Cook County are prohibitive. As reported to you last week, the project investment will be about $10 million. The property was generating zero property tax money because the village owned the property. It should be generating about $335,000 annually in property taxes to the TIF district, and an additional $240,000 annually in sales tax and gaming revenues. So over the 10 years, in the next 10 years, this project will generate approximately $5.7 million to the village and provide 38 permanent jobs. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Yes.
May I have a copy of this written report, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, I advise Linda Todd and Trustee Todd that I have a copy of the report in her box, and I'll have it in all the boxes.
Reports of trustees, standing committees, and comments. Public Service Committee, Trustee Bernice Brewer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Public Service Committee, we're starting up the seal carry class. It'll be sometime at the beginning of October. If you're interested, just please give me a call, and we're going to see if we set up something for the seal carry classes. And also with my comment, I'm still emphasizing, want to put emphasis on the point that I would like a written copy from the attorney addressing operational transfers and bonding for the treasurer. I would like a copy from the treasurer, from the attorney that addressed these two issues. This stuff has been going on a long time, and we can't seem to get a straight answer on these two particular issues. So I would like something from the attorney addressing operational transfers and bonding for the treasurer. That's the end of my report.
Budget and Finance, Trustee Roger Grant.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Last week, I presented the board with a cash reserve policy and a cybersecurity policy. I believe that Trustee Zupan recommended that I ask the advice of Gerald, IT consultant, on the cybersecurity. So he will be coming out to my committee meeting tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And then I will be presenting back to the board with his findings and recommendations for our next Tuesday committee meeting. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Housing and Governmental Relations Committee, Trustee Cecil Tate. Ordinance Review Committee, Trustee Linda Todd.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our committee met yesterday, and we are finishing up the false alarm ordinance. This has been haunting us for quite a while. I'm sending it off to the attorneys, and then once I get it back, I'll present it to the board. I also have there's 3 more ordinances that I will be presenting to the board, probably, I'm not going to say at the next committee on the whole, because it depends how long it's going to take for them to type it up. And I've not set a date for our next meeting, but I'll announce it at the committee on the whole when our next meeting is. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Public Safety Committee, Trustee Beth Zupan.
Public Safety next meets on Wednesday, September 5th, here in the Rotunda at 6 p.m. That concludes my report.
Community Outreach, Trustee Ronald Carter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're a little slow at getting things started, but we're trying to move. We're looking at next meeting will be maybe the 26th of August. And thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I just have a quick comment. At one of the meetings, because community outreach is not one of our standing committees, and I suggested that you need to do an amendment to our standing committee ordinance.
I need to get that to you ASAP. I have to get it written up and then that you reviewed.
Okay, so at Parks and Recs, is that still gonna be a standing
It's
committee?
gonna be, no, it's gonna be included, so that's what
Okay,
I'm saying is what
so then
happens.
this will read Parks and Recs and Community Outreach.
Okay.
Okay, just wanted to do a reminder.
You can stand up with the phone.
All right, thank you.
Reports of commission, I'm sorry, committees and commissions, Senior Advisory Council, Chairman, Mr. Emmett Fowler.
Thank you, Mayor. Trustees, first of all, I just want to thank everyone that participated in our first senior outing. You all contributed to it being a great success. I think this, I heard nothing but rave reviews from the seniors that they had a great time. So thank everyone that participated. And hopefully we'll be having another outing before the weather gets bad, before the weather breaks. Also, September 18th, we're having a home energy assessment from ComEd in the Senior Center, and that'll be at 10 a.m. ComEd will be out addressing the public on how they can get some things for energy, basically. Myself was actually personally had them come and do assessment at my house, and we got a lot of different things, light bulbs, things for your faucet to help with your water bill, shower heads, so they do a whole assessment to help you with your energy. So just like to spread that around, and I'll give more details on the next board meeting. That's all I have. Thank you all.
Thank you.
I have a question. Mr. Farmer, this is the same assessment program that we did earlier in August. We did it for Kennel Light and Weatherstone. Is this the same assessment as this NICOR?
No, this is just ComEd.
This is ComEd, so it's the
Yeah.
same thing.
Did you have NICOR too?
Yeah, NICOR has one too.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Now,
ComEd did one earlier, so
Okay.
you're going to do it again.
not familiar with that one. Yeah, we're going to do that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. New business, I'll accept the motion to approve accounts payable and disbursements dated August 14, 2018 for $366,888.81.
So moved.
Second.
It was moved by trustee Zupan, second by trustee Grant. Any questions?
Mr. Mayor, the payments for Dr. Strada and also the NAP group, we might want to look into this because it seems like to me that we are spending a lot of money, close to almost $6,000 a month for expenses for whatever she does during the daytime. So I'm saying that we talking about cutting back money. We might want to cut back on some of this money. She's making almost $6,000 a month, and nobody can really tell you what it's for. She makes more than anybody in the village, part-time. And I understand that she's doing negotiation, I can understand that, but HR with 47 employees, something's wrong. Somebody needs to cut it back somewhere. These are one of the items you might want to look at when you talk about cutting stuff back. This is excessive for any part-time employee to make that much money. That's the end of my comment. That's the end of my comment.
I have a comment. Because week after, every accounts payable, this comes up with Dr. Strouder. And I went back to look to see what we voted on, because we were saying 17.45 hours. That's not what this board voted on. We voted on 17 hours. And I understand, Mr. Mayor, you gave me some information on the statement of work, and it does not match what we voted on. And so I have to question what we're paying her per week. If we're 17 hours, then we're overpaying her. This is what we voted on. I'll be more than happy to give you a copy of
I
it.
have a copy.
Okay, because the 17.45.
It doesn't say 6,000 a month?
No.
It doesn't say that on there?
No. And at the meeting, when we went to.
You said it doesn't say that on there?
No, this does not.
Okay.
Okay,
And that's just for human resource, that had nothing to do with you?
no, I'm not even talking about negotiations. This is about the statement of work, and this is what we voted on. And at the time, I had commented that we did a committee on the whole, and Trustee Zupan brought up no more than 6,000 a month should be budgeted. And at that time, when we went to vote on it, they said that this was missing. This is what we voted on. The information you gave me, I'm not sure who typed that up, but this is what we voted on. And so my question is, she's taken advantage of the 17.45, and we are overpaying her. So this has nothing to go with negotiations. What I'm also looking at on invoices, back in 2017, she'd give you a detail of what she's doing. Now it's very generic. I'd like to know what she does on a day-to-day basis and more detailed invoice than just professional services. So that is my comment.
What she does on a day-to-day basis is what needs to be done the 3 days that she's here. I don't have anything written down verbatim to say, okay, you do this at this time. If there's things that need to be done regarding HR services, human resources, then that's what is taken care of on a day-to-day basis. So I don't know what more I can, tell you about, but that's how that's handled. Any other questions?
Mayor, I thought that we had approved the statement of work to be the $6,000 a month, which is why I've been approving these, because I actually, several weeks ago, went back to Dr. Fowler and said, hey, $17.45 a week, where are you coming up with 27 minutes every week, right? Because it's 17.45 is 17 hours and 27 minutes. And she said, actually, I put in more time than that, but because I'm limited to $6,000 a month, I just cut it off at that and make the hours equal to $6,000 and don't charge any more than $6,000 a month. So based on that conversation, that's why I've been approving the invoices when they come across. Thank you.
Any other questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Trustee Tate? Trustee Todd?
Yes.
Trustee Zupan?
Yes.
Trustee Brewer? No. Trustee Carter?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Motion to approve the resolution supporting the Class A tax incentive for the property commonly known as the northwest corner of Sauk Trail at I-394. I accept the motion.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Zupan, second by Trustee Grant. Any questions? Madam Clerk?
Trustee Tate? Yes. Trustee Todd?
Yes.
Trustee Zupan?
Yes.
Trustee Brewer?
Yes.
Trustee Carter?
Yes.
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number C, motion to approve an agreement with ADP, Automatic Data Processing, to provide payroll processing support services. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It was moved by Trustee Grant, second by Trustee Carter. Any questions?
Mr. Mayor, Trustee Zupan asked at our committee on the whole, when it came to this ADP, to see a comparison. And I've not seen a comparison. She had asked to see that. Comparing what, because we looked at the analysis, which I don't think is correct, but she had asked for a comparison. So I've not seen a comparison from ADP going to work with 47 of our employees to what our accounts payable is. And I just wanted to bring that point up because she asked for it last week. And that's all I want to say.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, you have a question? I'm sorry.
If I may, Trustee Todd, I didn't receive anything, but I went back through the ADP information and put something together myself, just so I could feel comfortable with knowing how I was going to proceed tonight.
Okay, thanks.
Trustee Todd? No. Trustee Zupan?
Yes.
Trustee Brewer?
No.
Trustee Carter?
Yes.
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Trustee Tate?
Motion is carried. Before we adjourn, I forgot to mention about the corner dog roast, which will be I'm sorry, the other item was put on hold, and that's item D, and then that'll be brought up at the next meeting, so it'll be put on hold. We will have an special meeting next week at 6:45. Also, as I stated, I forgot to inform everyone about the corner dog roast, which will be September the 8th here at Village Hall from 12 to 5. Those are not familiar with the corner dog roast, we come out and commiserate with the residents. We will have corn, hot dogs, and I think pop and maybe some other goodies that we'll be selling. So again, I'm looking for volunteers to help out with that particular project. And that's again on September 8th from 12 to 5. I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor, I just have a comment.
Yes.
I know you were looking for volunteers and you were talking about the trustees. I just want to let you know I'll be out of town, so I won't be in the corner. Thanks.
I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
It was moved by Trustee Zupan, second by Trustee Grant. All in favor? Aye. Motion carried.